The continuous immigration of Germans in the 19th century led to the foundation of German companies, schools, and institutes in Mexico. During the boom of the coffee industry in 1860, a German community from Bavaria, and from Baden-Württemberg, in Chiapas, settled in the Soconusco region, where they founded towns such as New Germany, and large coffee farms near the Guatemalan border. Other communities from Bremen, Lübeck, Dresden, Hamburg, and Berlin settled in Mazatlan, Campeche, Nuevo Necaxa in Puebla, El Mirador in Veracruz, Tampico, Tamaulipas, Tijuana, Baja California, and in the cities of San Luis Potosí, Puebla, and Ciudad Juárez, among others. In Mazatlan, the development of groups with economic power began with the construction of the port in 1818, due to the western direction of the population, which benefited from a decree of the Spanish courts of 1819, which authorized a commercial activity more especious. With the independence, this concession was annulled, but only a year later, in 1822, it was re-established. Before 1826, the commercial movement of cabotage in the port was already fully normalized, and 2 years later, in 1828, the maritime customs was installed there, which implied the legalization of foreign trade. It then became necessary to carry out reconditioning works on the port. In the following decade, the town hall was established, and subsequently urban growth began. A fact that helped the economic growth of the port was the arrival of foreigners from the late 20s. They arrived at the beginning, mainly Germans, but also of other nationalities. Many of these immigrants established business houses, holding at the same time the diplomatic representation of their country, and combining this with smuggling activities. In general, all these foreigners played a role of great importance in promoting regional economic growth, due to the control they exercised over foreign and domestic trade, and due to the investments made in the various economic activities of the state. Mining activity in this historical period, as in colonial times, was considered the driving force of the Sinaloa economy. The state of Sinaloa had abundant silver mineral resources, and some gold placers, many of them unexplored or abandoned. The main mining centers were located in the southern part of the entity. Among them stood out Guadalupe de los Reyes in Casala, Panuco and Capala, in Concordia, and the Taja and Guadalupana mines, in the district of El Rosario. Despite the importance of this economic activity, there is no evidence that production has grown, or that any important technological innovation was introduced, which would have affected the increase in productivity. With regard to agriculture, it continued to be mainly self-consumption, allocating a small part of its products to local markets. The main crops were the traditional ones: corn, beans, chickpeas, and some vegetables, as well as sugarcane for the production of piloncillo. At the end of the 1840s, cotton cultivation was introduced, which would serve to supply the first textile factory in Sinaloa. Sweet potatoes, peanuts, potatoes, and fruits such as orange, plum, avocado, watermelon, melon, banana, guava, pineapple, lemon, papaya and others were also harvested. In relation to livestock, Sinaloa had abundant pastures, especially in the northern part. However, this activity was not very developed, due to the low prices of cattle, which made it an unprofitable activity. Cattle, horses, pigs, sheep, and poultry were raised, which were in demand in the main population centers of the state. During the period, 1831 to 1850, the transformation industry in Sinaloa was almost non-existent. There was only one textile factory, established in Culiacan, by the Vega Hermanos Trading House, in the late 1840s. In it, blankets were mainly produced for the popular classes. In the rest of the state, around 1854, the production of the artisanal type predominated, which was carried out in workshops, among which were 24 shoe shops, 2 pottery, 2 saddlery, and 12 carpentry shops. There were also 12 brick kilns, on the outskirts of the port, that made bricks and tiles.